Hear ye, motherfuckers. Yo, what up? What's poppin', everybody? It's William versus the world. Ooh, and thank God it's Friday. Yep. Because that means it's ICG night. We get to play some video games, and I get to smoke some motherfucking marijuana. What's up? Chad's in the house. What's going on, player? Yeah, I got something different for you guys today. I mean, every now and then we got to downshift. If this is your first time watching, I appreciate you being here. Please understand the most valuable way to support the feed, the most valuable thing you can do is give me all your money. No, the most valuable thing you can do is share the feed. Yep. People think that that's what creators and influencers and bands and live streamers, they think that that's what we want. We all just want money all the time, which is nice. But let me tell you something. You can send me stars or bits or whatever whatever they have now, whatever the kids are doing now. What do we got? We got stars on here. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. His tube, her tubes, Taya tubes. But we're on most of the tubes. And the other thing is we're also on Twitch. Twatch you're looking at. We're also over there. And I don't know, are we anywhere else? Probably. But this is a daily show. I do this every day at 7 p.m. And it is an interactive chat and live stream where we talk about the music industry. It's designed for DIY musicians and independent musicians on social media. However, I mean, you could be a hot shot or a professional. And maybe if we're not learning from you, maybe there is something that you could take away from the program. And that's my hope here. Justin, what's up? Hey, you versus the world is awesome. I appreciate you, man. So, again, while we do appreciate the kind of support that folds and the kind that jingles, we definitely much rather appreciate the kind of support that molds and mingles. So if you could, please share the feed. That is the most powerful way that you can help local musicians, is sharing their music. Sure, buying T-shirts and CDs is nice when you come to the merch table. But nowadays, people think you got to give us all kinds of money and subscribe to all kinds of different tiers and bundles and packages. And that's nice. We do have those things. You can go to our merch table. We do have a shop. We do have a website, and we appreciate all of you guys when you do send us the kind of support that folds. But when you share the feed, when you support the networks in the modern day, it's the kind of support that holds. So if this is your first time watching, please share us to your stories, to other groups, other creators, podcasters, different stuff like that. It also helps us collaborate. Justin knows that. And I know Chad already knows that. So welcome to William versus the World. You're probably wondering why I have the stuff on the screen. It's not really for me. It's for you. I don't read all of the articles. However, I'm familiar with all of the topics with the articles that I include. So very rarely am I pulling up a story that I haven't experienced, been educated on, or that we have had as a topic. I try to keep the conversations and topics going and with momentum. So when I do introduce new things, I try to make it known. So the reason why I have the images on the screen are mostly for people that are first-time listeners or first-time viewers, people that have never seen the program at all. Because if you just were to see 40 seconds of this program, you might think that we've made everything up. So if you didn't know, each night we scour the internet, and it's not just modern day news. Like today we'll get into some history actually, which will be fun. I have a really fun episode for you guys. But each day, we look on the internet and we make topic blocks. And out of these blocks, there'll be stories and a variety of different conversations that we can encourage everybody in the chat to get involved with. And most of them, lead up to the circumstances that being good or bad of the modern day music industry, because it's difficult for all of us to break away and have the free time to inspect and measure everything at full detail. So we're kind of doing the work for you. Yep. And really, if anything else, the images on the screen are evidence that we've just done our homework, and it gives you the opportunity to read along with us. So if this is your first time watching, today and every weekday we are learning, we are chatting, and examining the top industry stories, news and technology, social media from all over the world. Yep. It's tough enough, I think, starting the day in your own life. It's an adventure as it is, so we really appreciate you ending yours here tonight, Friday, with us here on the band page. I'm William. I play guitar and compose for the band. I'm one half of the members that founded Sepsis. Of course, with me in the chat is the lovely Melissa Wolf, guiding me through her wolf spirit, as always. Always determined, always beautiful and elegant. I can't wait till band practice. Yep. Anyways, welcome to William versus the World. This is probably the only music and news conversation, or I don't like to just call it it's not just like a chat. It's not quite a podcast. It's not quite a live stream. It's kind of everything in between, because I'm talking with you guys, and of course it's live. So we do this live. You guys can communicate with me in the chat, and you're encouraged to. I'll check back routinely for commentary. But we are a band. We are a hard rock and heavy metal band from Manchester, New Hampshire. We've been around for probably, I think it's about 14 years now, but we've been making music professionally, recording and performing since 2019. A little history on us. So this is a chat where we read together, we dive deep, we cross-reference, we compare notes, and we utilize the full power of the internet, our education, and our experience. And then we have to do it each day, discovering and examining, unpacking, unlocking a common sense approach to the music industry for DIY musicians everywhere. So that's what we're doing today. I appreciate you guys being here. Okay, I see you guys in there. So for you guys that are new here and that share the feed, I thank you. And let's get to our first story on William versus the World. Yeah, we're back again. So just quickly, I thought this was cool because I'm from the MySpace era. Now you can really torture people on your Instagram. Not that I recommend that for everybody. But look, everybody. Instagram introduces a MySpace-style option to add music to your profile. So for all of you musicians out there, all of you musicians out there, this is for you. Remember when you used to, I know you guys, don't look at me like you didn't have a MySpace. You guys are looking at me crazy. But now I guess on Instagram, there is a feature now, especially if you have a musician page, this will be important for you. Now, I thought about doing this, and then I thought how fucking annoying this also is. Like, if you're not an artist that has 1,000 songs and you're constantly changing the welcome song, I mean, you could really fuck some shit up for yourself. You might actually drive people away from your page and your music. Because like if people like coming to your profile, they might not want to hear all that fucking racket. Like, what if somebody that comes to your profile that loves to listen to your podcasting or just like look at pictures, or There are people that still like to read. But I can remember what it was like visiting people's MySpace pages and not liking their music. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel me. Instagram introduces a MySpace style option to add music to the profile. For those, listen to me, for those who aren't old enough to remember, MySpace was a trip. Back in the early days of social media, the online space where everyone was friends with Tom added a lot of weird features you could use to customize your profile, including forcing you to choose which of your friends were your favorite and letting you add glitchy banners and graphics that would take forever to load. Yo, you remember that shit? Yo, I forgot that shit. Yo, do you remember you could have like your top 5 friends? Do you guys remember that shit? Then all of your other friends would be like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not in your top 5. Remember that? You guys forgot all about that shit. Put a 1 in the chat if you had a top 5 friends. That is so funny. Like, that's something, like today, like in social media today, like that would be known as like, I don't know. That's like today, that's like social media abuse. It's like social media neglect. Like, how dare you have favorite friends? If you had favorite friends today, if you had like a top 5 favorite friends on Instagram, whoever wasn't in your top 5 would unfollow you. Everybody would have only 5 friends. You feel me? This fucking dog is barking. Jesus Christ. Oh my Lord. That shit is funny. Woo. Anyhow, those were the days. All right. So for those who aren't old enough to remember, MySpace was a trip. Back in the early days of social media, the online space where everybody was friends with Tom added a lot of weird features you could use to customize your profile, including forcing you to choose which of your friends were your favorite and letting you add glitchy banners and graphics that would take forever to load. But one of the coolest ideas was the option to make a song on your profile, which would send anyone visiting your profile scrambling for the volume control. Remember that? As soon as you'd hear somebody's terrible music, you'd be like, holy shit, mute, where's the mute? Right, it was terrible. You guys remember that shit? People would have their favorite stuff up, and it'd be like, oh my God. That's so funny. And of course, if you were a musician, you could upload your own shit. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Anyhow, sure, MySpace, it fell out of popularity as Facebook became the new standard, but somehow inexplicably still exists today. Let's go to you guys want to go to MySpace? I mean, maybe I don't want to go there. I might get hacked or something. Maybe I shouldn't. I imagine that Office has to be one of those boards up that says it has been blank days since an employee openly wept at their desk. It's always set to 0. Okay. Well, that music feature is back, everybody, now on a popular social media site called Instagram. As of yesterday, you can add a 30-second clip of any song in their library to your page. Have you guys done this yet? Put a 1 in the chat. I don't know if you guys have or not. You already had the option of adding songs to individual posts, and now you can just have one that plays on your regular profile. Okay. Instagram took to their own Threads page to make the announcement yesterday. Quote, "We're excited to announce that you can now add a song to your profile, giving you more ways to express yourself through music. Your profile song selection will live on your profile until you swap the song out, driving people fucking crazy. People are going to listen to your profile and hate you instantly. Now, I know some of you musicians out there are like, oh, man, this is the way to really hit. But I don't know, man. I would be careful with this. It's like sweet cherry pie. You might wind up putting up your favorite song that you think is really good. Like people that like Sepsis music don't like the songs that I like. Like, no way. Like when we're about to release a whole bunch of new music, and I'm going to prove it to you guys. The songs that I like in the next releases, I bet you no one's going to like them. I mean, I'm not saying they won't like them. What I'm saying is it's always my fans of my music always like the music that I'm not prepared for them to like. It's fucking insane. I don't know what it is. Like, we'll write something, or we've done stuff in the past, and be like, oh, I think this one is going to be the one that they like. And it's the other one. It's a strange thing. I'll never understand it. Hey, what's up, Sean? Welcome, Sean, to the party. ICG Sean. Has entered the room. I feel like this is one of those big LFG nights, Sean. If you guys didn't know, Immaculate Connection Gaming hosts games on Halo on the Xbox Live Network each and every Wednesday and Friday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Yep, you guys can come and play with me, Songbird, ICG Sean, Hans is there, ICG Gamer Ninja, and so many more. Come and hang out with us Friday nights. Immaculate Connection Gaming. Yes, and we will be starting a GTA clan next year. So if you're interested in signing up for Immaculate Connection Gaming and you play Xbox and have a gamer tag, feel free to send me an Xbox friend request and come and join us on Halo Infinite on Wednesdays and Fridays. Yep. Yo, Scott, what's up, man? Brother Scott in the building. So there you go. All you guys that are fans of MySpace and Instagram. Let's ask Metaverse Melissa. Metaverse Melissa. Are you going to take advantage of the full privileges of the Instagram network by adding an annoying song to your profile? You are. Yeah. Okay, chat. Are you guys going to take the full privilege of annoying all of your friends by pinning a single song to your Instagram profile? You guys better hope people don't visit you often. Yeah, you just gotta switch it up every now and then. How long? I mean, hold on, but this is bad. What if you're a band like us and you only started releasing music a couple years ago? Like, we've only been releasing music, you got to understand, under 5 years. Think of how crazy this is, everybody. Have you guys really thought this out? Us as a band, we have not released a song. The first music that we had ever published, ever, is still under 5 years old. We have all the music that we have ever released is under 5 years old. So do you realize what this means? Think if you don't have a huge catalog of music. Think if you don't have 100 fucking songs. Like, all of my friends that are in bands, all of my friends that are musicians, they already have catalogs with 120 fucking records in it. I'm the only motherfucker with 3 songs. I'm just keeping it real. That's all I'm saying. Some of my friends, they have 10 albums. I'm like, holy shit, they come out, I mean, every 6 months they got a new album. I'd be fucking poor. Like, how do they get all this fucking, how are they doing that? How you guys dropping albums every 6 months? Holy shit. How the fuck are you dropping albums every 6 months, but you're not touring every 12? How can you drop 3 albums and not hit one tour? Not hit, what the hell? And when I say tour, I don't just mean like get in the fucking car. I'm talking about like PR and advertisements and fucking promos and you know what I mean? Like you do the whole, you know, you do a press tour. Jesus Christ. Oh, maybe Justin's right. So, okay, so like Justin's got a point. Maybe somebody's got a little help. Like, I understand that. Like, you gotta, I get that. There is managers and there are financial contributors that, you know, come into people's lives and do that sort of thing. That's not unheard of. It worked. Son of a bitch. Hold on, let me see the quality. I'm not going to... Huh? I'm not going to comment here on the air because who knows what I'll say. It's live and everybody will remember what I say forever and ever. Like they won't, they'll forget about it, but still. People will go back to it and they'll only listen to 12 seconds of it. And then they'll put it in a loop and they'll say, this is this guy's beliefs. And then everybody will believe that that's all I believe because that's all that they will have ever seen. Son of a bitch. So today, guys, I have something different for you. For all of my friends that have not been educated on what Billboard is. Do you guys know when they say, you know, Billboard 100? Let's take a peek real quick. Billboard. Okay, here we go. Billboard. Here we go. Here it is, guys. Billboard. Do you guys know what the fuck this even is? People, well, I need to tell you something. We need to talk about Billboard. And we're going to talk a lot about stuff like this all year. Billboard, the Grammys, New England Music Awards, all of it, everything. But let's just talk about Billboard today. The Billboard charts. And the only reason why I want to talk about Billboard is because artists think that they need to be associated or covered or worshipped or presented by the billboards. A lot of artists have set their sights on being able to determine their success through corporations like Billboard. There are some musicians that might be led to believe that until you build relationships with large companies and labels and corporations like Billboard, maybe you're not a musician yet. Maybe you have not made it. Maybe you have not been authenticated. And in the rock and metal scene, there is a long line of desperate and dreamy musicians willing to sacrifice everything to be acknowledged and to participate with the success of Billboard. And I just thought that what a time when listening to music isn't as important as what the music is played through. Who is presenting the music is more important now than the actual music itself. The people, the personalities, and the behaviors have all become the stars of the show. The record executives and the ARs, the A&Rs, the record executives, the distributors, and the publishers are the real rock stars now. The playlisters, the tastemakers, and the DJs are the new rap and rock stars now. And why? Because companies like Billboard say so. So I think it's important that why we are trying to please these companies and why we sacrifice everything and we give our dream, we give our music, we pass over our ownership, our authenticity, we pass over our image and our personality to large companies like Billboard, all to be authenticated. So I think it's important that because that is still a desire of modern day musicians, I think it's important every now and then to even see what the fuck is Billboard, and does anybody actually know what it is? And instead of trying to determine whether or not or at what intensity we want to be a part of it, do we even know what it is? Why are we so excited to be a part of the Grammys? Why do we root and hoot and holler and cheer? What for? Does anybody know any of these people, or can they be vouched for? When we bring up making it in the music industry, you often hear, well, man, I hit Billboard, or, you're not on Billboard yet. Or you see flyers and it'll say Tom so-and-so, or Billy Hoo-Ha, or Monica Flim Flam. And you won't know who these people are. And right under there it'll say 3-time award-winning New England music. Nobody knows what the fuck that is. Why the fuck is it good? And even if people know what it is, it's like, okay, Sepsis has an award. We have 3 awards. We have 3 awards for New England hard rock and heavy metal, and that's nice. Trust me, I'm very grateful, and those things are nice. But beyond them being pretty pieces of plastic, it doesn't really mean that I'm a nice guy or that I play really cool riffs. It doesn't mean that. It means that I'm popular on the internet, and you guys were nice enough to vote for me. Other than that, it doesn't mean shit. Let's keep it real. The fact that we are we've won more awards than that, but let's just go with this one. The fact that Sepsis is a 3-time back-to-back undisputed New England metal, heavy metal rock, that's just a bunch of fucking words thrown together to impress somebody in a press kit. It doesn't really mean that, that we're great at singing. You'd have to come to a show to find that out. Shit. So why do we give so much strength and power to corporations like Billboard? How do they know what's good in the first place? Let's look at the history of Billboard. Let's look what it is. Instead of saying that it's good or saying that it's bad, let's find out what it is before we even determine whether we want to be a part of it. I think there's too many people that just go, let me be a part of Billboard, or fuck the Grammys. And all of that's great. But who's ever done the due diligence? Who's ever taken the time? Who's ever downshifted? How many musicians actually look up what the fuck Billboard even is? Let's check it out. Billboard began as billboard advertising with no intention of revolving around the music industry. The startup was launched in the fall of 1894 by partners William H. Donaldson and James H. Hennigan. Rennigan, like a Pennigan. I don't know how to say that. So William and James, as a journal-esque public, now it started off as a journal-esque publication for bill posting businesses. You can look up bill posting on your own time. All right, there you go. The first issue circulated November 1st, 1894, covering 8 pages with a cover price of 10 cents and a yearly subscription of 90 cents. How about that? Its cover page stated that the new publication was, quote, devoted to the interests of advertisers, posters, printers, bill posters, advertising agents, and secretaries of fairs. That's where billboard came from. Yep. Advertising agents and secretaries of fairs, quote unquote, though such intentions would change in a few short years. The publication initially took on discussions of the science of advertising, with headlining columns Bill Room Gossip and the, I've never heard that before, indefatigable and tireless industry of the bill poster. That's the different word for me. I'm going to have to look that up on my own. Suggesting a seemingly predictable future direction for the organization's content. How fitting. However, in June of 1896, Billboard Advertising set forth the first of several major shifts in its lifetime, with the first being towards the entertainment industry with the introduction of a fair department. So, this is the first time that this 8-page flyer introduced a new department called the Fair Department. The Fair Department covered billboard advertised carnivals and fairs, while the parent magazine featured ads throughout the pages for attractions similar in nature. By February of 1897, the first metamorphosis had come to fruition, and the publication's handle was shortened to The Billboard, remaining so until 1961, and its pages were now crammed with countless listings of fairs, carnivals, and other related advertisements. New columns such as, quote, stage gossips arose at the time, dedicated to coverage of the then budding entertainment industry. Are y'all hearing this? It's an advertisement and gossiping. It's an advertisement and gossiping flyer. So originally, Billboard was an 8-page flyer that covered advertising. It taught people the science of advertising. And it covered gossip, stage gossip, and at the time, I guess, the budding entertainment industry. Here's a graphic for you guys. Billboard advertising. This is the billboards. So when you guys think of billboards, you think of like Justin Timberlake. But this is the billboards. Check it out. As time passed on, the Billboard continued with newfound focus, working in additions of new columns dedicated to followings of veteran performers' activities. The Billboard also created the letterbox, which essentially acted as a traveling performer's mail forwarding service. That's interesting. Specifically, the letterbox provided a column of names of performers whose mail was gathered at the Billboard offices, i.e. fan mail. Difficulties due to the technological constraint made for the daunting task, though the letterbox column successfully created a sense of connection that quite literally made the Billboard the hub of the entertainment community. So that's how Billboard gained its trust as the hub of the entertainment community, by being a middleman. Sound familiar? So far, I don't hear these guys playing any fucking guitars or singing anything. They don't seem like experts in music at all, do they? So the Billboard started off as a flyer company. A flyer company for advertisers that advertised advertising, and later on advertised entertainment, fare, and unfortunately entertainment news gossip. Does that sound familiar? Nowhere do you hear in the beginning of Billboard's empire, never do you hear them being experts at playing music. Interesting. Yet another small scale through the notable shift in the Billboard's agenda occurred in the early 1900s, with the first mentioning of musicians appearing in 1904 issues. In September of 1905, the first column solely dedicated to music was published. The song promoters, dubbed song pluggers, are you guys hearing this? Were featured in newer issues. In 1940, the publication historically introduced its first weekly tallies of the songs ranked by sales, with the first #1 hit being I'll Never Smile Again by the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, with lead vocals by Frank Sinatra. 15 years later, the top 100 charts were compiled in 1955 through the eye-catching Hot 100, debuted in 1958. From their debut onward, the Hot 100 and sister charts themselves evolved almost separately from the magazine, with Billboard contributors adapting their calculations to various technological changes changing in the music consumption. Listen, guys, hold the fuck up. Please pay attention. Please pay attention, because we talk about this all the time. Please, you got to pay attention to this. The top 100 charts were compiled in 1955, everybody, through their eye-catching Hot 100, debuted in 1958. Hot 100 debuted in 1958. Listen up. From their debut onward, the Hot 100 and sister charts themselves evolved almost separately from Billboard magazine, with Billboard contributors adapting their calculations to various technological changes, changing music consumption. The gizmos and the gadgets that the music played through. The Billboard contributors adapting their calculations through the various technological changes in music consumption, i.e., 45 RPM singles in 1949, CDs, digital downloads, and 2012's streaming. That's what I'm always trying to tell y'all. Come on, wake up. Come on, I always tell you, the gadgets and the gizmos. Music is not about musicians. Music is not about songs. Billboard is not about, has nothing to do with music. It has to do with flyers, advertising, and it has to do with gadgets. Advertising the gadgets that the music plays through. Do you guys get it? Are you guys getting it yet after all these years? I don't know if you are yet. All right, so here's another image. The Billboard. Look, NAMM convention section. Look, the stars who make the hits are on RCA Victor 45 RPM. Does that look familiar? In the modern day, this would say the stars who make the hits are on Spotify. The stars who make the hits are on iTunes. The stars who make the hits were on cassettes. The stars who make the hits are on Walkman. You guys, the Billboard is a flyer in an advertisement business card that sells gadgets. In 1961, the publication went through yet another transition, becoming Billboard Music Week, with its final renaming to just Billboard occurring 2 years later, and abandoning the coverage of general show business and then tightening the scope on the music industry. During the early stages of the revamp, the magazine was a weekly business journal for the professional musician, notably featuring discussions of up-and-coming technology. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Oh my God! Now, if I say this to musicians, they're gonna throw a temper tantrum, because I'll say to musicians, the music industry is not about your songs, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, Will, I fucking hate you." It's like, bro, that's not. You're not looking at it. I could tell when people don't know. I can tell when people don't know or have the time to study the music industry. That's why we do this show, because most people don't know. If you reveal to them that the music industry is really about MP3 players and Walkmans and video games and gadgets and manufacturing, then people start to get disappointed and they go, "Oh my God, you mean it's not about my story? You mean it's not about me? I'm not really pretty. People don't really care how gangster I am." No. I've been told you guys, listen, Sepsis has never even gotten, we've never gotten, if you've ever seen us do any professional or industry project, we have never gotten an industry project or an award. We've never been invited to a big festival because of our music. Never. Never. If you've ever seen us get a record deal, if you ever see us open up for a big name, any big name you've ever thought of, any big festival that we've ever been with, any big signing that we've had, any award that we've ever come home with, if you think in your mind that my band has gotten those things through music, you're out of your fucking mind. People don't give a shit about my music. I know that. That's okay. That's something that regular musicians don't know. That's something I try very hard to teach other musicians, so they know how to protect themselves, so they know how to stand up for themselves and not be taken advantage of. If I could get through to independent musicians and get them to realize that the music industry is not about music, especially their music, then I might be able to show them, I might be able to reveal to them that the real music industry is about gadgets. It's about technology and advertising. It's about posting ads and being able to and being able to calculate the popularity of gadgets through the amount of plays and the amount of attention that the gadgets can record. It's about collecting data. Spotify is about data mining and data collection. It's not so they can rip your heart out or like retune your brain. I mean, maybe at some point. It's honestly so they can make predictions about you buying shit. When people are really worried about, what happens when they collect your data, well, I'll tell you what happens. when you go to Grubhub, when you go to Spotify, when you're on Netflix, when you're playing on social media, what it's doing is collecting your data, and it's developing almost like a CIA or an FBI profile of you. And it collects all and every institution, every left side, every right side, every single color, every single country, every single product and corporation, even sepsis. When you sign up to our mailing list, when you come and visit my page, I can look at your behavior. I can see when you shop with me. I can see when people come and watch my streams. I can see when I go like this and I go like this. There's more people that watch me when I do that because we're all caught up in that. You know what I mean? When I have something to say to people, they stop watching. If I'm, you know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to be generous or I have good news for people, they stop watching. What I'm trying to say is all the companies are collecting your data. This goes back to before computers and everything else. And whether it's on Grubhub or Lyft or Uber, all of these services are connected to apps that collect information about how you shop, how you behave, how you spend your time online, and it builds a character sheet of you. And on this character sheet, whether it's video games or Xbox or whatever you do, you can't get out of it. There's no getting out of it. Whether you're part of the church, whether you're part of it, your job's doing it, everyone's doing it. This is why you're not allowed to share how much you make with your employees. That's why it's frowned upon to fraternize at work. So you guys can't share information with each other. But all of the data is collected, so this way the supervisors and managers that are in your life can make shopping and behavior predictions about you, because it's to be understood that if people can make predictions about you and people are able to strategize, then that way they can leverage their relationship with you and they'll have an advantage. That's what this is about. The music industry is not about music at all. It's just about greed. Let's continue. It's about sharing. It's about legacy corporations mining your data. Okay? It's about seizing. Listen to me. It's about seizing new technologies. It's about legacy companies seizing new technologies, seizing them. And what I mean is you haven't seen any new technology in the last 30 to 40 to 50 years, because when new technology comes out, big technology like Facebook seizes it. When you see large music streaming companies, when you see independents rise up, you see large legacy labels seize independent companies. They seize the talent from independents. They siphon and they seize the assets and the talent and the personnel from the independent inventor community. They seize the inventions. The legacy shareholders, the big companies and corporations, when they see new tech startups, even in musicians, when Drake sees a new flow come out, he has people that crawl over the internet. And when they see new raps and new trends coming out, these large rappers, these large music corporations, they have people that crawl all over the internet and they see what's working. And they all throw shit at the wall. That's why all the big record labels, they hire a bunch of little sepsises. And they see what works. And they see who has talent. And they see who's rough around the edges. And they seize these inventions. When people invent things, they're mainly criminals until people, until people adorn them and title them as inventors. They're whistleblowers. They're rebel rousers. They're troublemakers. But what happens is when you see small social media companies come up, they're seized by legacy shareholders in larger social media companies. When you see small record labels come up, you see they get to a certain point, they're independent to a certain point until they're seized. until the new inventions and the new ideas are seized and handed over to the limited few that are at the top. The magazine was a weekly journal for the professional musician, notably featured in discussions for upcoming technologies, though would evolve into a music editorial for the avid listener over the next few decades. 2005 saw the final major transition in a history of constant reshaping, with a total redesign and a slightly broadened scope to encompass all forms of digital mobile entertainment. The charts, practically separated from the magazine, continued not only their technological evolution to the current online format, but their growth and prominence in the music industry. The chart's incredibly simplistic nature and discerning leading tracks begot quick attention form and considerable influence over the public. This not only lent credence to its quickly established name, but to its continued usage as the industry's hit scale. And that is all based on fucking gadgets, as it has said and revealed. I can't wait to do some more of this. This is awesome. We'll come back and finish this off on Monday. You guys are fucking dope. I don't want to take too much more of you guys' time. I hope that this was a great start for some of you guys who have not been introduced to the billboards, what it is, where it came from. And if you decide that it's important or that it's cool and you're a musician and you still want to be a part of it, go ahead. I think sometimes when I deliver these stories, I think there's a bum, like what should I do now? I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm the person just showing you what it is. Most people just have never bothered to look. They sit there and circle jerk these fucking corporations, all of them. We all praise them and worship them, and none of us know who they are. They're complete fucking strangers. I'm trying to teach you guys to stop meeting strangers on your screen and thinking that you know people. Stop seeing images. Stop seeing personalities of people, and stop seeing symbols and imagery and thinking that, it's familiar to you. Let's face it. I read the names of the Billboard founders. You guys had never heard of them before. So why do we vouch for these companies and legacy corporations? Why do we vouch for them like we eat dinner with them? I'm trying to get to show you guys that with all the competitions and all the charts and all the awards, with all the people issuing them, all the folks that are in charge of these things, we've never bothered to ask ourselves, why are they in charge? Why are they the tastemakers? Why do they get to say? And what are they basing it on? Is this based on music? I think you got your answer tonight. Join me for another episode. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And man, I'll tell you what, we got a lot of big announcements coming. Sepsis has a whole bunch of music about to be released. I'm really excited. More information and news on events to come. You guys just stay out of trouble. Be kind. Be cool to yourselves. And let's just keep this thing going. Stay consistent. We ain't no fair weather friends or no punks around here. You guys know what time it is, man, on another episode of William versus the World. I said the world. The world!